Awesome. Recording. Here we go. All right. How's it going, everyone? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan Mendonca, Sporting Director of Tecumseh Soccer Club. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, whether it's this evening, tomorrow. I know this information's everybody's been waiting for it. It's long overdue, but we wanted to make sure we took the time to get it right. What's coming forth is a presentation about where we are right now. We understand we're in lockdown, but with some positive news upcoming and some momentum building, we hope to be out of it soon. What we wanted to do before we move forward is to make sure we apply our lessons learned from the past and give everybody a really transparent update on where things are at and implications of the lockdown financially to your 2020-2021 season. That way you know what the payments look like for the remainder of the year, and then also what it would look like if this lockdown goes a couple more weeks, a few more weeks. We should try to keep it as simple as possible. So I ask that you watch the presentation until the end, even when I go through the age groups, even if you want to fast forward once you get the info that you need. And then if you have any questions, as always, you can follow up with myself, Ryan at tecumsehsoccerclub.com, or just the straight admin email, which is just admin, ADMIN, at tecumsehsoccerclub.com. So without further ado, so if you see as I go on, if I look off to the side, it's because I'm looking at the second screen for what's coming next. So like I said, this evening, February 11th, Tecumseh Soccer Club, we want to be ready and resilient. We want to communicate with you and explain that we're here, we're ready, but and we have a resilient mindset, and we hope that you're going to join us with that kind of energy. We know that your sons and daughters have, and it's been tremendous to see their ability to stay resilient on the field and at home and in the classroom in spite of all this, and we're excited to get back out there. But during this time, we try to make sure that we stay ready, and we'll talk about that at the end, and that knowing that the only thing that we know is that things are not going to go to plan this year because there are so many moving parts and changes. So our priority is safety, as always, and we want to stay ready to get back out there as safely and as we can. What we're going to cover in this meeting, we're just going to do a quick recap and review of 2020, talk about kind of our New Year resolution, what we talk about this year, what our focus of the first quarter is, our overall 2021 program, how we're planning things, our financial solutions and member savings, which is what you've come on here most likely for, and then our forward thinking lead and leap into 2021 and where we want to be. So again, I just want to say welcome to everyone for taking the time to watch the video. Try to provide more insight than just send out PDFs or presentations to everyone like we do with some financial reporting. So thanks for continuing to be part of the club, for going the distance with us and continuing the journey in 2021. We're excited to have your family, your son, your daughter with us. We've continued to grow by leaps and bounds at all ages and all levels. We're very lucky and fortunate to be able to provide an environment, a positive environment in the sport of soccer for all of the families, and that's very important to us. 2020 presented us with opportunities to get to know ourselves better. I think that's an organizational statement and an individual statement for at least me. I'm sure we've all done lots of reflecting, but we can apply everything we learned in 2020 to 2021 and talk about in our planning and our action and the way in which we deal with any obstacles we face. So together we can navigate through this uncertainty. I really believe it, and come back with courage to our new reality. When I talk about our 2021 resolution, framed it relationship reset. And like I said, the last 12 months have been all about reflection and take the time and energy to really put into getting to know ourselves better. And as a club and as coaches, we began our year or ended our year, depending on how you look at our end of the year coaches meeting, on reflecting on the relationships that we've had as players or coaches that we loved the most and how we would describe them. And we created this word cloud. And if you look on the right side of the screen right now, you'll see the word cloud that we came up with. And we really focused on people who made an impact in our life, teachers, coaches, bosses, managers, whatever it was. These are the words that came: fun, believed in me, knowledgeable, inspirational, understanding, passing on their experience, honest, fair, father figure, coachable, disciplined, confident. And what we noticed is, as coaches, when we talked about these things, these have nothing to do with soccer. And when we talk about returning to the field and and understanding the people we have in our care. If we want to make lasting relationships with yourselves and your child, and we want to impact them in a positive way, this is how we reflected on people who impacted us. And we really wanted to focus on taking that forward in everything we do this year. So we're going to strive to create these strong relationships with the players and the members in our care. And we hope that when we look back on 2021, we're going to be proud of the relationships we built this year, the way we worked within those relationships on and off the field. So again, we're really grateful that you're joining us. So from there, we kind of looked at our first year, first few months back this year, and we set up 3 keys to clarity. And they were, first, we have to plan to pivot, and I'll talk about that right away. We talked about financial solutions and understanding where we are and the variables at play, and then forward thinking, having a little bit of a forward thinking mindset. So planning to pivot for our 2021 program. So it's a new year and it's new priorities. And although they're new priorities and some great new initiatives, it's the same principles. We are who we are. We're just ever evolving and always looking to improve. So I think you'll see us tweaked in the programs you love and the things you love about our club. And I hope you notice or are aware of, and feel free to point out when we make improvements or where we're making improvements that we believe are going to help us serve you better and build a better relationship. Proactive in planning. And the quote I use there is, the only constant is change. That has never been more true than this year. The only thing I know for certain is that nothing is certain this year. And we've learned that in the past and we've learned that in life. But so we're planning and we're being proactive, expecting the unexpected now, which maybe before the pandemic, maybe we weren't thinking that way as often as we should. Planning for worst case, because this pandemic has shook up the world. We're going to have adaptable ambition. And the reason why I use those words and we're going to message those words to the players is because we want to be flexible, but we also still want to be driven and have the grit to get to our target and where we want to go. We're still able to get to where we want to go. And we're very, very excited. And then we just want to continue to have a resilient mindset and have the courage to face all these things in the world out there. And I think together we're stronger and we can face anything, and that's what we want to keep in mind. The second piece was our financial solutions and our member savings. And as Tecumseh as a club, we applied the lessons from the last lockdown to provide maximum value and experience to the members. We're able to provide savings on a week-to-week basis depending on the length of the restriction and lockdown. And that's why we wanted to kind of give you that information ahead of time now. And then savings vary specifically for each age and level based on the cost savings of facility, the rental services, turf, and staff, that we have assigned to the age group. I do want to throw a caveat out there that as a club, we reserve the right, and you can blame me because I had final proof of this, reserve the right to correct any error contained in this presentation. So we have the numbers and we worked through things, but understand that when we produce something on this scale, over age groups, and I'll talk about the number of installments and credits and everything in this presentation. I might just find it when I'm reading it for the 10th time today. There may be errors, and I apologize, and I hope you understand that we're going to take the opportunity to correct them. If any information was wrong, feel free to point out anything. If you have any questions, again, in minute, tecumsehsoccerclub.com. So we're going to dive right in. So the Grassroots Age Groups, U8, U9, U10, players born in 2014, 13, 12, 11. We continued training right up until December 11th. We took our scheduled winter break. We actually took it for these age groups. We didn't use the whole 6 weeks. We said we're going to use 5 weeks. If you want, you can view the program presentations there or click on the link on your own or go to our website. These players, we contributed the largest percentage of credit to them in 2020, and we provided a 13-month at no cost. So September was a flex month. It was a 13-month we gave to these groups at no cost because we wanted to have the registration all on October 1st. And we felt that providing that extra cost, we also provided the largest percentage of credit, like we said. And we subsidized this group, as is gone over in your program presentations, with significantly reduced payments for 2021. So the training week of January 18th will be made up during March break, but the training weeks of January 25th through February 22nd cannot be credited further at this time. What we are going to do, and there's actually a really nice, exciting announcement coming next week. We are creating a lot of additional summer programming to try to make up for the lost feel. But what you understand is there's no lost cost, because unfortunately some of that subsidy and sponsorship goes away without us being active at this time. So we've kept the costs as low as we can at this group. We're going to continue to provide as much value as possible. And we're really excited about an announcement next week. So if you're in this age group, I really want you to look for our social media or newsletter next week. This goes on to our pre-Opdl age groups and U11, U12, players born in 2010 and 2009. 2020 training continued up until December 11th again, and our scheduled winter break was December 12th through January 17th. The links to the presentation are there, again, to review if you need a refresher from the fall. These players received 3 months of return to play at no cost, so July, August, September. Because again, that allowed us to sync things. So the actual registration this year provided 15 months. So you got 3 months at no cost if you return to play. The registration also then becomes 12 full months. Our training week of January 18th will be made up during March break 2021, which we all know is now going to be in April. And each additional week of training missed is going to result in a $40 credit applied to your final installment payment. So every week, beginning January 25th, that we've missed, and depending how far we go, up to the end of February, results in a $40 credit. So if we've missed 25th, and this week, that would be $80. And we miss a third week, $120. 4 weeks, $160. There you go. And that'll be applied to your final installment credit. Of all the following age groups now, you'll see this sheet. This is a refresher of the payments and also how the payments are applied with credit. So we have the 2009 tuition and the 2009 tuition with the credit applied from last year. The 2010 tuition and the 2010 tuition if you are a returning player with the credit applied from last year. What we have is the 2021 credit will be applied to your final installment credit. So if you do ETS, if your team does ETS, it'll come off ETS. Otherwise, it will come off the March 1st payment. Financial reports for all the age groups can be found at that link, as well as program info can be found at that link on our website. Now on to the ECSL age groups. It's a little bit different because some teams that just play ECSL train indoors 1 day a week, some don't. But these are players born in 2008, 2007, 2006, 2005, 2004, playing in ECSL. Received the second largest percentage of credit and savings in 2020. Received a 13-month at no cost again in September 2020. And our training continued up to December 11th. Tecumseh scheduled the winter break, and again, the program presentation can be found at the link below. Teams and players born, the registration provides 12 full months, and a winter break was scheduled for 4 to 6 weeks in the program. Training week of January 18th, if you're training indoors, will be made up during the March break of 2021, and each additional week of indoor training missed beginning January 25th results in a $20 credit applied to the final installment payment. This is about a $20 credit. If we miss 2 weeks, 3 weeks, multiply it by how many weeks, beginning the week of January 25th. Again, here's the breakdown of the full tuition, as well as the full tuition with the COVID credit applied. Same thing for the 2008s and 2004s. Again, any COVID credit from 2021 will be applied to your final installment. So it'll be applied to the February-March invoice. The financial report link and program info link can be found there. Moving on, we get into our Opdl age groups. So U13 through U17, players born in 2008, 7, 6, 5, and 4 that are playing Opdl. We continued to train up until December 11th, 2020, and our winter break as scheduled was the December 12th through January 17th. We used the full winter break with these age groups, as you can see in the program links that can be found here. Registration provides 12 full months, as we said, so about 52 weeks. And this is where I thought we did a really good job, where the cost savings actually almost worked out to a prorated week by week, but it was very helpful. The training of week of January 18th will be made up during March break, whenever that is. Like I said before, we understand that March break may happen in April this year. whatever the schools decide. Each additional week of training missed beginning January 25th results in a $50 credit applied to the final installment payment for OPDL players. How that breaks down, OPDL was tricky. Every team was coming in on a different payment plan and paid different amounts last year. So as you see, the 04 girls who played WRSL last year, here was their payment schedule with their credit. So again, it breaks down. And like you said, you can refer to the presentation and see this is what your payments are for this year. And then your 2021 credit will be applied to the final installment. So whatever your last April or ETS installment is, it'll be taken off of that. And here's again the financial reports and program info. Our U21 men players are boys born in 2003. They continued training up to December 11th. Each additional week of training for this group results in a $20 credit applied to the final installment payment. Again, these guys training indoors once a week. So again, different story. But it'll be $20 credit applied to the final installment payment, which again is displayed here, your payment schedule for this year. So your whatever the credit is for 2021 will be taken off the final April 1st payment. Here is the payment with credits broken down, whether either you came from the OASL team or the OPDL team last year. Awesome. So before I leave you, I just wanted to provide a little bit of club insight for these financial solutions and want to be as transparent as possible. So as stated, in each team gender breakdown, we've developed the cost savings based on a per week cost right now. The difference in savings is related directly to the services provided in each team plan. So training once per week, twice per week, the age, so that means how much turf is booked for them, the coaching staff, things like that. The value of the savings is made possible by significant staff cost cuts and reductions that we made during January and February. We learned this last time. We made these cuts and reductions right away in a significant way to make sure we passed as much savings and value on back to you as we could. And we're all eager to get back on and resume normal, but we understand that we have a responsibility to our membership as well as our people. I do want to point this out in a very, very transparent way. Tecumseh SC is not holding a large amount of cash. We're holding mostly credit in the months of indoor. We still hold a month of credit indoor from last year, in addition credit from this year, as well as we hold credit in league fees. All of our league fees from last year, over $50,000 in credit with Ontario Soccer and Essex County, which means that we're not holding cash. So that takes us to our next step. Our February invoices are going to be invoiced as normal. A lot of people in their routines want to continue with their routine and pay as normal. That helps. It makes it easier to manage. However, no February payments due until we return to the field. And all registration payments must be up to date in order to continue to return to training. So you have to make sure you're up to date up to now. And then when we get back to February, you have to be up to date with your February payment in order to return to train. The March payment may be adjusted the date slightly. If it was March 1st, it might be moved back depending on when we go back. But again, just wanted to emphasize this because the reason why is in order to keep operating the way we do and providing the value and top level service and environment to you. Unfortunately, most of our credit is applied to a later date, meaning leagues in the summer and things like that. And we can't put that into action. So we're trying to stay as regular as possible, but providing as much savings as possible. And I hope you realize that most age groups, if you actually prorated it, divided by 50 weeks, you actually almost works out to a prorated cost. So I hope you see the value in that. Forward thinking. So here's 2021. It provides a season full of opportunity. I don't want to focus on the obstacles. I want to just be grateful that we're going to get to train at some point this year and play. I really believe we're going to be out there in games. So we're really excited to launch our Tecumseh Soccer Club Play Academy for U4 through U8. Last year was our youth academy. It's now become a more standardized thing, and our player-led, academy. The other thing is this is the first year we get to creation of our Canada Soccer Skills Center, which is the evolution of our U9 through U12 grassroots programming. Southwestern Ontario's only skills center on this side of London, and made possible by the work with Canada Soccer with our national youth license. And then the implementation of updated, it should say upgraded. I've already found an error. There you go. Updated and upgraded training curriculum and program. We're super excited about the curriculum that we've been able to bring in with the evolution of our staff and the time locked in the offices the last year. We've been able to upgrade our curriculum and really produce a more enjoyable, energetic, and informative teaching environment to your sons and daughters out there. So we hope they feel the energy, feel the fun, and really advance in the game the way they want to go. We also have bringing a new platform with some of our staff to propel our players into post-secondary opportunities. Super exciting for high school players. We cannot wait to put that into place. We've already started conversations with them, but to really get them focused on opportunities in college, university, those looking for scholarships, those looking to play at the next level, the experience of the staff and contacts that we've brought on is tremendous. We're excited to roll that out. And then, as we talked about before, the introduction of Tecumseh SC finally to the world. Last year, we were going to start with the women. This year, we have our U21 men's and women's introducing themselves into League One. And then we have our women's full reserve team into League One. We're super excited to get back out there in Ontario's highest level of play. And it's been made possible by the work and support of people like you. So we're really excited for 2021. One thing I do want to address is we are going to, as we get more news about coming back, we hope to be able to launch this program, A Courage to Come Back. I think in a lot of ways, in a lot of reflective ways, and this has been a test of ourselves. And I think we need to empower the young boys and girls in our club, as well as coaches, as well as families, with the courage to come back. So we're going to be asking for videos and involvement from you, but we're also going to be engaging our players, teams, and staff to tell stories about why they're excited to come back and what coming back means to them, even in the smallest way. If we come back, players are just excited to get out there and see their friends face to face, even in a social distance, safe environment. About this and talking about courage to come back and strength and resiliency and grit, this has been sent out before, but I do want to say I'm super grateful and honored that we get to host John Gordon. And if you don't know John Gordon, John's, like it says below, husband, father, Division I athlete, tremendous speaker, brings energy everywhere you go. And the last line is what matters most is that he says something today that inspires you to take action tomorrow. John is an amazing human being and does phenomenal good in the books he writes and where he speaks and the teams he works with. And he's taken time out of his schedule to speak with our organization, and we're opening it up to the Windsor-Essex community as a whole, Sunday, February 21st at 5 p.m. John's going to be talking to us about grit. If you want to understand what John's going to be talking about, just get on YouTube. His talks at Fortune 500 companies, professional teams, NFL, NBA, NHL, all over the world, lots of soccer programs, you name it. We're super lucky to have, it'll be about just under an hour talk plus Q&A. We're super excited, and you can register in advance for this meeting at the link below, so you don't have to do it all at the last minute, but we're super excited to have you out and hope that the whole family, this isn't just for players, this is the whole family, to get our mindset right as we're taking the next step and building momentum out of lockdown. And the last thing, as always, I just want to finish with an earnest, honest thank you. I hope I talked slow enough, although I wanted to bring energy to this because I am super passionate about sharing the transparency with you. And as always, if you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or the club at admin@tecumsehsoccerclub.com. Many of you know how to get a hold of me. I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was informative. I hope you feel the energy and excitement for us to get back. And I'm really grateful for every single person that's involved in the Tecumseh Soccer Club family. So thank you and have a good night.